Hey guys, I am back and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. It's been over a week since I have even picked up this camera. I honestly, if I'm not filming like on my usual schedule, I feel like I'm doing it again for the first time. So feeling a little bit out of my element, but I have some things to go over really quick. I'm gonna throw a timestamp if you literally don't care, and if you don't care, I don't care. Doesn't really matter. So here is the timestamp to fast forward through all of this. First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out on Instagram and on YouTube. Just kind of wishing me well, hoping everything is okay. Unfortunately, everything is not okay, including the fact that it took me so much to get to this point, and now the lawnmowers are here. So everything is not well. I feel like my life is just one giant snowball and it is turning into an avalanche. I can't focus. Everyone is okay health-wise, but just fine. I'm fine. Everyone's fine, but yeah, just lots of stuff happening. And I just kind of took a week to process. I slept a lot and tried to find some sense of normalcy in a time where things just felt really confusing and like I just was in a very, very bad place. My years of therapy have definitely helped alleviate the situation, but I feel like there were a lot of things that I wasn't prepared for. So it's just, yeah, it's been a week and I have been caring for my plants. My plants have been sort of the one thing in my life besides my husband and Pudge that are like really grounding for me and sort of help me keep moving and keep from just laying in bed and turning into a mashed potato. But things are going to be rough for a while. This isn't something I just didn't have like a bad week and it's going to get better. This is going to be ongoing for a while. I don't know how long, but for a while. Trying to keep some sense of normalcy in my life right now I think is really important. I think I'd feel worse if I wasn't uploading on YouTube and wasn't keeping things going with my business and just trying to still have some sort of routine, right? So that's what I'm trying to do, but I can't make any guarantees, and I know you guys don't have any expectation of me, and you guys always tell me to sort of just live my life and take it easy when I need to, but I sort of am trying to push myself to keep on schedule because I just think that it's going to be more beneficial for me later, just to know that like I'm not just wallowing in my sorrow. With all that said, thank you guys so much for all of the support. If I am not as cheery or normal in the next few videos, at least you guys kind of know why. I cannot fake it like I feel like other people are better at doing. So I actually had a different video slotted for today, but it's a very information heavy video, lots of talking, lots of editing, and I just don't think that I have the capacity for that right now. So I'm pushing that later this month. Hopefully I can even get to it this month, but today instead I'm just going to show you 10 new plants that I am very excited about right now. I have acquired more than 10 plants in the last few weeks, but I don't want to be sitting here for 2 hours, so I just pulled 10 that I'm feeling extra giddy about, and hopefully you guys enjoy them too. All of these plants are still in their original like pots and like substrates that I got them in. I am 100% certain there are pests on here. I already seen a mealybug on one. So I do want to sort of get this video done so that I can work on getting them treated and repotted and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna start with this one. By the way, Pudge just joined me. He is sunbathing. He's gonna be honking in the background, but comes with the territory. So this is a Philodendron Glad Hands, and I love it. I just love all of these leaves that are like this, the Florida Beauty, the Florida Ghost, Florida Green. So this one is right up my alley. Jing and I purchased it from someone locally for an amazing, amazing price. It was actually a much larger specimen. She chopped the top off for me, so that's what this is. I am trying to get it rooted and tooted, but not really seeing too much action right now. But I have faith. These plants are usually pretty easy to root, but the leaves are just so fun. And I do plan on maybe growing this one on my shelf or maybe in my bedroom somewhere. This one doesn't necessarily need a ton of humidity or even warmth, but I do want to get it on a pole ASAP because I don't want this to revert back to a smaller size. I love how these like midribs are giving UPI, it's like UPI with little hands, and I do really like the UPI, but not enough to own one myself. I much prefer something like this, so I'm really glad to have this. I did not really have any intention of like going out and finding one. I've always liked them, but I really couldn't pass up the price of it. It was unethically cheap. Suspiciously cheap. So yeah, really happy to have this one. I just wanted to start it off with something that I'm very, very excited about, but I do want to keep these away from the other plants that I know have pests. The next one is an Alocasia Cupria. You guys might already know that I have one, but I did mention very briefly in, I think it was my week of plant to-dos, that I'm trying to put more of my alocasias in a single pot. So my scalprum, I think I put 2 of the little corms in there to make it look like a fuller pot, and I want to do the same with my Cupria. So I picked this one up from Lauren. It was literally $4.99. Can you guys believe these prices? They're crazy. So I picked this one because it had actually 2 plants in it. There's like a little corm guy here and then this big one. The leaves are already a really, really good size, and these are just everywhere locally, and you can find some that have like leaves this big, but I don't necessarily need one that large. I just wanted to make my pot look fuller. So I grabbed this, and it's so funny because I used to hate this plant. I used to be so creeped out by it, but I think because I grew mine from a corm, I sort of developed this appreciation for it that I did not think I would ever have. And now I'm just kind of obsessed with it. And it's, yeah, like the part that used to ick me out about it no longer icks me out. It's when it gets really, really big and ribby and shiny. It just looks a little bit too alien-esque for me in like a gives me goosebumps kind of way, but I have since handled that aversion, and I am pro Cupria. I love them. So I'm really happy to have added another one to my collection. It is in the world's gunkiest, most disgusting soil. This is not Lauren's soil, by the way. This is from the greenhouse. But yeah, so Alocasia Cupria, very excited about that one. The next one is some type of agave. This one says just an agave Gemini Flora, but that's not exactly what this plant is. So you're probably like, what the heck? Why? Just why? I'm gonna plug in a photo here of a plant that I saw at the Edmonton. We went to like a museum with my nephews and my niece and there was an exhibit on bugs, and oh my gosh, I really did not think I was going to enjoy that exhibit so much, but it was so fascinating. It was so cool, and I loved seeing sort of all like the desert plants that they had inside of the exoterras. So there was one exoterra where I think it was like some kind of beetle, and there was a plant that looked similar to this that was just really, really big and flowy, obviously right here. And I don't believe it's the same one. The other one that I saw was a little bit more blue. I need to sneeze. It was a little bit more blue, but I'm kind of hoping it turns into that in terms of the way it looks and how long the leaves get. I was just obsessed with it and I could not stop thinking about it. I posted it on my story when I was in Edmonton and I was like, what plant is this? I need it. And a few people said probably some type of agave. So this is like the closest that I've found to it. I highly doubt it's the same exact one, but it looks enough like it that it sort of satisfies this craving that I've had for it for like months now. Well, when did I get back from Edmonton? At least a month or two. The leaves are not super rigid. They definitely have some bend to it, but they are still like somewhat stiff. They're not just like really floppy. And I don't really know what the growth pattern is for this one in terms of if it's gonna get longer or just like bushier. Like will they stay sort of this size? I don't really know. I don't know much about agaves, but I am really, really happy to have found this, and for $5.99. There were larger ones, but this was the only one that had two plants in it, so I opted for this one. Don't really know what the plan is in terms of like where I'm gonna keep this. Probably just like somewhere in my living room, somewhere where I can enjoy it, like on a windowsill or something. But yeah, very excited about this one. I know it's super random, but I have just been on the hunt for it since I got back from Edmonton, and if anyone knows what plant that is that I threw up from Edmonton, can you please, not threw up, that I put on the screen, please let me know, because if I could find that exact one, I would just be so happy. The next one is another Alocasia scalprum that is very, very dry and thirsty. But you guys know how much I love scalprums, and I had just mentioned that I'm trying to combine pots. I am not going to do that right away because mealybugs, you guys, they are everywhere. Like, it is disgusting. It's so terrible. They're just infested on all of the plants that are coming from, I want to say 1 or 2 greenhouses, and it's just no. So I've had these isolated for a while since I got them, but I'm planning to just unpot this completely and give it like a full like mealybug treatment. And I'm kind of grossed out even touching this right now, but I wanted to show you guys quickly because this one was a really good size. It does have a little pup in here as well. So once this one has been treated and cleared of mealybugs, oh my god, they're so gross. The antennas, ugh. You guys probably think I'm crazy for even bringing home a mealybug plant after I had been dealing with my stuff, but I don't want to touch this. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it down. Freaking lawnmower. Okay. But yeah, anyway, I just really wanted to add to my pot because the thought of having like a really big bushy scalprum makes me so happy. It gives me goosebumps. Look, I have goosebumps. So that is one that I will be eventually putting into my main plant, but that probably won't be for a while because I feel like mealybugs don't go away. But hopefully with this sulfur dust thing and maybe Azamax, it'll help a little bit, but we don't really know. The next one here is these ones are being labeled as Philodendron Zenum in the nurseries, but just based on sort of the characteristics of this plant and especially the texture of it, this feels like a Dean McDowell. I don't really 100% know yet. It's a very, very young specimen, but I do have a small Philodendron Zenum. I do have a small Philodendron Zenum, and it's super, super glossy and does not have this texture. Oh my god, it's an adult thripsis. Oh, it's all over. Ew. I physically cannot formulate a thought with the sound of the lawnmowers. So anyway, this is Pasta Zenum, what I believe to be a Philodendron Dean McDowell, which is a hybrid cross of a Gloriosum and a Pasta Zenum. This one feels exactly like my Dean McDowell. The texture is the same, the color is the same. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Oh my gosh, this one has a mealybug too. There's a lot happening on this plant. I'm actually going to chuck this in the shower right now because I am scared of thripsises flying everywhere. I got interrupted doing something. I don't really know where I left off, but I'm just gonna grab another plant. So the next one here is an Alocasia Cupria. I hope I'm saying that correctly. This one actually changes its form quite a bit as it matures. I will throw in a photo of a mature specimen, and I had not even heard about this alocasia before, and it's just so like surprising what they're choosing to like put into cultivation. I'm not mad about it for sure, but definitely had to grab one just because it's really along the lines of the alocasias that I love a lot. I feel like I might like this one as a mature specimen more than the sinuata, but it's really hard to tell. Just like the Cupria, I feel like I sort of change my opinion and the way I feel the longer I have it. So yeah, really excited to have this one. Ugh, it's in the yuckiest soil. Nursery mix is so disgusting. I wouldn't be surprised if this one has thrips, spider mites, and mealybugs as well. Just an FYI, this one came from one of the biggest greenhouses here that is just notorious for pests, like notorious. And I'm pretty sure that's where like all of my pests came from this year, but you know, we're adding fuel to the fire. This next one, sorry, I'm just blasting through these, you guys. I really don't want today to be a super long one, but I went on an alocasia binge. The next one is an Alocasia aslanii. I cannot tell you how excited and happy I am to have one of these. This is one that I had gone back and forth about whether I wanted it for a long time, and I think the more that I've just been seeing them, and I had to. This is everything. The leaf margin is incredible. It doesn't look real. It's just this bright white contrast against this really dark leaf that has like tints of green and purple. It is majestic. And this one specifically that Alice picked up for me has 4 plants in it. So I'm not gonna have to grab another one. I already have like a really big pot to work with. I truly have been on this like alocasia binge for a while. I haven't really been wanting any new philodendrons or anthuriums. I really have just been into the alocasias, and I have recently switched my Millsbow and my Redsta, so now my Redsta is mostly alocasias and my Millsbow carries all my Hoyas now. So yeah, it's gonna be really exciting to just watch this one grow. I sort of have a feeling that this one might throw a fit after I unpot it and sort of get it cleaned up, but I am not going to risk whatever pests are on here. Anyway, that is the last of the alocasias. The next one is honestly my first purge purchase in a while. It was exhilarating. I can't believe I have it, and I have been wanting this forever. And that is a Dioscoria discolor, and this is like the variegated yam plant. I've heard these are extremely fast growing. They can take up a space very quickly if you're not pruning. I'm not sure what the plan is for this one, but it is an unrooted cutting right now. I am hoping I can get them to root though. So the story about this one is someone locally, his name is Vincent, he purged and had an amazing collection of things that he was purging. He also had a variegated micans that I tried for, but people's pockets were much deeper than mine. But I managed to score a couple cuttings of this one, and he threw in a little bit extra so that I could give some to Alice too, so that was really sweet of him. And you guys, they are just like, they're even better in person. Like, I have been just fiending over this plant, just seeing it on Instagram, seeing how it glitters in the sun, and just the sheen on them, and like the perfect little heart-shaped leaves. and these like purple abaxials. I love it so much, and I didn't think that I'd be able to get one just because I wasn't sure where to even import it from. I think that these are not allowed to be imported into Canada unless you have like a specific import permit. So these were on like the Echeveria import list, but we weren't able to get them. So I'm really glad that I was able to get one from Vincent, and I think the plan is going to be to grow this in my tent. I think that's where he was growing it. I think that's where he was growing his, and it was like taking over. And ideally I would love to have this growing out here. I just don't really know enough about this plant to know whether that would be possible, and have like the leaves grow in really nice like this. This is a plant that I would love to get on an architrellis if I could, just have it sort of looping around and around. That would be just chef's kiss. But I'm just so fascinated by the variegation of this, and just like the texture of the leaves, the patterning. It feels velvety and very like soft and buttery to the touch. But it does have this sort of like iridescence and like shine and shimmer to it in the right lighting. And then again, these abaxials are just like incredible, and I love like the pleating on it and just the texture of it. I'm just so happy to have this, and I'm really happy that I didn't have to break the bank for it either. I'm really trying to be good about splurging on wish list plants. So grateful to have this. I just really don't know where it's going to root from, where the new growth is going to come from. I know nothing about these plants, so wish me luck, say a prayer, and hopefully I can show you some progress in the next few weeks or months. This one, I'm so excited about this one. I grabbed this one from my friend Krista's Purge, and it does not look like much right now, but this is a Philodendron Summer Glory, and this is a hybrid of a Gloriosum and an unnamed Macaulay's Finale hybrid. So it's super like just lots of different things in it, I think, but I'll throw in some photos of what they look like here. And I think I only came across this hybrid last year, and someone accidentally got it in their import, which is the first time I saw it and was like, so I need that. I just love how it has like these like long sharp philodendron leaves, but it's like the texture of a philodendron Dean McDowell. It's like leathery, but like really like soft and like pillowy. I'm not good at describing textures, but the sheen and the way that this leaf feels is everything. And I can't really quite put my finger on what like another plant that it feels similar to. It is very unlike any other philodendron that I have. You guys know how much I love the Gloriosum, and really anything hybridized with Gloriosum, I'm like, sign me up. I took it out of soil and I put it into tree fern fiber, and I'm hoping that we can get some nice juicy roots on this thing soon, because I would be freaking devastated if this one took a crap on me. But yeah, if you have not heard of this hybrid before, you guys got to go down the rabbit hole. It is a beautiful freaking hybrid. Thank you so much, Krista. This was just, I never even thought that this is a plant that I would come across here locally, and not at the price point that I got it at. So I am very grateful. And so the last one, I did save this one for last because this was my birthday gift to myself. My birthday's in 2 weeks, and I was like, you know what? I have been eyeing this thing forever at her shop. I've literally had my eye on it for probably all of this year, and I think this one was from her personal collection, and I just knew deep down one day she'd be like, I'm gonna let one go. I'm gonna let one go. And it was actually the one that I had been eyeing. So this is an Anthurium parochianum Esmeralda, and it's basically, I believe, just a different and I think newer kind of variety of the parochianum. Very similar, but I think that it's more so just the venation is not sort of like bright and silvery like the parochianum, and it's not as dark as the parochianum. It's a lot lighter green, and I don't know if it's growing conditions, but it seems that everyone's Esmeralda sort of has this same color, but I'm sure it can get a little bit darker in the right light. And I think the internodes are not as tight on the Esmeralda, but I could be wrong. I haven't done a ton of research on it, but either way, this one has just been on my list for forever. I can't remember. Gosh, these lawnmowers are never gonna leave. I can't remember the first place I saw an Esmeralda, but I will throw one up here. And it seems like they all of the different clones kind of differ very slightly. Some of them I've seen don't have like lobes that are very, very like tight or close together like this. Like it's like a wider sinus, whereas some of them have like a tighter sinus. Some of them have a little bit brighter of venation, whereas some are like mine, which is very muted. But either way, I just knew that I had to have this eventually one day. And from what I've heard and from what I've read, this is much easier to care for than the queen. I think it can tolerate much lower humidity and like non-greenhouse conditions. If you guys are no stranger to this channel, you know that I've just gone on like what I feel like is a world tour with my queens. I used to have one that was really, really big. It was growing so well for me, and then one day it just decided it didn't want to live anymore. I have struggled with all of the chonks, and I'm just sort of at a point where I no longer crave to have that plant because it's given me so much grief. So I'm hoping that I have a little bit better luck with this one, and I don't know, a part of me actually enjoys this one a little bit more than the typical queen. Oh my god, the lawnmowers, please. I'm trying so hard to get through today and everything is just getting in my way. So thank you, Lauren, for helping me check off a wish list plant. I think this is the most I've spent on a plant in a while. It was still a very good deal, but my validation is that it is my birthday gift, and after the week I've had, I think I deserve a good birthday gift. So anyway, you guys, I'm so sorry if this video was really rough, or I just was sort of like blasting through everything and the fact that the freaking lawnmowers will never go away. But truth be told, it took a lot in me to even film today, and I just wanted to get at least something up, and I wanted to show you guys all of the new plants I had before I got them unpotted, and possibly some of them might throw a fit. So I just wanted to show you what they look like now. But I need to get out of here because the lawn, it's too much for my ADHD. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all of the sweet comments. Thank you for sort of riding with this really sporadic schedule we've had, and hopefully the rest of October doesn't go to crap because I have been waiting all year for this month. So yeah, thank you guys again. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it helps Pudge and I a lot on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. Go away!